What?
Oh, we should
Oh, give over. Not again. Do you know what time it is? It's 3:30. Oh, get off. Now, look, stop that. What earth's got into you? It's not Friday, is it?
Oh, chérie.
Oh, look, cut that out. Pull yourself together, woman. But control yourself. And get back on your own side. I've got to be on the first tee at 6:30.
Oh, je t'aime. Oh,
Speak English, woman. Whatever's the matter with you?
oh,
Here. Leave my scarf alone.
oh.
Get your hands off. Look, if I go down and make you a cup of cocoa, will you go back to sleep?
Oh, que je t'aime, mon amour.
All right. But look, don't go mad. Because I'm getting on a bit now, you know. Hang on, wait a minute. I'll just put my glasses on. Oh, they're nice. Where'd you get those? Here, put that light out. What are you thinking of?
I want to look at you.
Don't be disgusting. I knew I should have taken you to see old Calcutta.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Wait for me.
Oh.
Here, be careful. I'm in cartilage. Oh, now look what you've made me do. My foot's gone right through the sheet. That's your fault.
That's enough of that. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to Saturday Night Live with me. Whoever I am, I sometimes forget. I'm quite old, you know. And I hope you've had the most wonderful day stuffed full of extra plumptiousness. And it is nothing less than a sheer orgasmic delight to have the prospect of sharing the next however long we hang around here with you. Wonderful top of the range community members. You're all fabulous, and I'd love to rub you all up and down and squeeze you until you wet yourself and shriek slightly with the sheer excitement of it all. Now then, cheers, your very good health. Now, on to the subject of tonight's live streams, darlings. I thought it's been a while since we've had a live stream where we talked about absolutely nothing but cars. Wouldn't that be wonderful? An hour or two where all we do is just discuss cars. What a fantastic thing, I thought. Don't know why I didn't have this idea earlier. So let's see who I've got with me for the next 3 hours where we are going to be discussing cars and everything relating to them. Gosh, it's going to be fascinating. I've got some very interesting facts about the Jensen Interceptor FF, which I will share with you. Now then, who's here? Neil Gibbons, a.k.a. the Gibbonator, a.k.a. the very, very, very nice man. And he is a very nice man, quite a large man. He has a somewhat disturbing habit when, you know, the surroundings and time of night are conducive to literally helicoptering his own willy around the room. But there you are. We all have to have a hobby, don't we? And Neil says, hello all. Thought I'd be the first one on here. Hope everyone's days are going well. Just in case anyone pops in before the live, I hope you are well. That's very kind. Peter P is here and says, well, hello. All good, Neil. Jimmy Quinn, the wonderful Jimmy Quinn is here. Good evening, Boaty and all. Steve Colg is here. Lord Stiff Upper Lip is here. Hey, bud. Van Morrison, warm love playing. Oh, sounds good. Simone is here. Hello yet again. Hello to you. Mystic Hair is here and says, good evening, Boaty. And a jolly good evening to you, Mystic Hair. Was it Captain Mustard in the kitchen with the candlestick? Probably. He's always struck me as that sort, you know, bit of old kitchen shenanigans. Andrew Buttygig is here. I've a spotty butty. A very good evening, Boaty, and everyone in the chat already. Just came over from the Trace and Emma show on Twitch, whatever that is. Brilliant. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. I'm sure it was superb. Steve Colg is here and says Andrew. Because why wouldn't you? Why would you not just come on and say Andrew? It's a fine thing to say. Let's all say it together. 1, 2, 3, Andrew. Oh, hello, Tracy's here, the Greenwood. Good evening, all. Hope all those who were there enjoyed my live. That's it. Get the plug in early, Trace, why don't you? I'm sure they had a wonderful time. Two lovely sisters together discussing, matters of the household, cooking, knitting, that sort of thing, maybe discussing happy childhood memories. I'm very sorry I missed it, but, you know, what can I say? I had a restaurant to run. Great live today, Tracy. Very sophisticated, says Peter P. See? Told you. I knew it would be. Thank you for being there, Peter P, says Trace. Emma, the M11 is here. My goodness gracious me. Good evening, says the M11. To the lovely Boaty's World community. Well, that's rather nice, isn't it? And to the wonderful and devilishly handsome Mr. Boaty himself. Yeah, that's me. Wonderful and devilishly handsome. At least I was 65 years ago. Hello, everybody, says Captain Mustard, who, of course, we know and love as Project Nigel, or Captain Mustard, because he's got two channels now. He's got one where he just waffles a load of crap to the camera, and then he's got another channel where he waffles a load of crap to the camera. And you can choose either of those fine and splendid channels. Far too much wine has been consumed this evening, says Mystic Hair, and follows it up with hick. Oh God, everybody's saying hello to each other. Ross is here, Dino Dad. Barry Scrotter is right in our midst. Oui, je t'aime. Heavy breathing, says Trace. Getting a bit excited there. Is this a recording of Boaty and Chinese Madam? Yeah, similar theme. Oh dear. Come on, save, says Steve. Oh, don't know what that means. Jimmy Quinn says it sounds like Tracy. Ross says, Tracy, that live was nuts but fun. He turned it off, and I'm half-mast, says Blackline. What a tease. You can listen to the rest if you want. Any tarts out on the town tonight, Boaty asks Lord Stiff Upper Lip. It was a bit lively in there tonight, to be honest. There was some, there was some belting crumpet in there. But the most entertaining table was table 3, where there was a nice lady accompanied by two enormously loud, enormously camp homosexual gentlemen. And they were just absolutely hilarious. And it was even funnier because, oh God, they were flirting outrageously with the staff. And of course, there's a different view on homosexuality in amongst the Nepali community. It's they've still got a little bit way to go in terms of acceptance. So to watch these pair of camp dudes trying to cuddle them and hug them and telling them they're beautiful and they don't know what they're missing until they try it. I was just howling. I was on the floor. They didn't get such good value out of me because I can't really be shocked in that regard. I spent too many years with gay friends and hanging out in the odd gay bar and whatnot. You know, you can't shock me. And also, I'm actually very secure in my sexuality, so I don't mind having the crack with those that bat for the other team. Thank you, Ross, says Trace. Just a bit mad because first time with Emma on cam. There we are. Emma seems to know a lot about starfish, says Ross. Gosh. Okay, I had no idea that the live stream had gone on to a kind of aquarium or ocean theme, but that's interesting. We can talk about that when we're finished talking about cars. Shock horror, says Simone. I was tinkering with TC today. No biscuits were harmed in the making of this live, says Andrew. Let the bitter or the wine flow. Good evening, says Buddy Scrotter. Curry was a success. And the best bit is I have a portion frozen as well. Get your hair cut, says Steve Colg. I've seen a better bird's nest. Is that aimed at me? I imagine it probably is. Boaty talks cars, says Mustard. Cars, says Buddy Scrotter. I want to talk about sex accidents on a Saturday night. Ross says, I have a car. Done. Okay, well, we can talk about sex accidents if you prefer. So, yeah, feature one, sex accidents. Share the... I'm not absolutely sure what a sex accident is. I mean, is it having sex by accident? Is it having sex during an accident? Or is it having an accident during sex? I'll leave that open to you, darling. You take it any way you damned well please. You take it, grab hold of it, and you roll with it. Take it wherever you want to take it. Look, I've got candles for you. Look, atmosphere. Bit of a disaster today. I forgot to go to Sainsbury's tonight, and it was low tide at Wine Bay. So that meant I had to stop at Tesco on the way home in a terrible rush. So I thought I might as well buy some candles while I'm there, because they do candles for £1.25. Candles that just about fit within my meagre budget. I've dug Ruby out of retirement, says Neil. Still no Speedo, but I've had to turn her wheels. Bloody hell, I've missed her. As I've said before, says Buddy, my dad worked for Jensen. Boaty will go off on a tangent soon, Trace, says Andrew. Who donated the candles? No, I bought them. I bought them with my own overdraft. Surely you need to wait on Skick to tell you what you're allowed to talk about. I think I got a message off Skick last night, and I don't think we're going to see him for a while or ever. I forgot to read it and reply to it. Let's have a look. I'm sure I got one. I vaguely remember. Here we are. Boaty, it's in my nature to be to tell it how it is. In all honesty, I don't see any point in adding to live streams anymore, because my nature will always attract people that are not true to life. What I will say, it was Mustard that took it too far, and I just told him some home truths. My opinion of you is you are a very intelligent man, and hope life one day gives you the place in the world that you deserve. Well, that's rather lovely, isn't it? But I think we can take from that that Skick is going to have a little bit of a break, or he might be lurking, or, for all I know, he might have done a full-on general cheeseburger and left the building entirely, which would be a bit of a shame. But there we are. I mean, you know, necessitas et mater inventum, for those of you who speak Latin. It was beaten into me. I went to a very expensive school, darlings. Very expensive school. Each stroke of the cane must have cost about £1,000. I'm willing to take the place of Skip. So I'm willing to tell you all some home truths. So ask me anything that you care to name, and I will tell you a very firm home truth. Does my bum look big in this? Well, yes. You've got a big, fat, wobbly bum, and you're wearing really, really tight leggings. So, yeah, it looks pretty damn sizable. In fact, the last time I saw a bum like that, it was winning the Grand National. That sort of thing, you know. I'm prepared to unleash my inner Skick for your pleasure, because I wouldn't want you missing him. And, you know, it's kind of a shame, really. I don't like the idea that any member of the community would feel unwelcome for any reason. But there we are. There we are. You put a load of people in the same place at the same time, and there are bound to be some differences of opinion or clashes of personality. First son is named Jensen, says Barry, and I have Jensen memorabilia. Jensen Interceptor, says Mystic Air, West Bromwich's finest. Neil Gibbons says he has enough car knowledge to talk for 5 minutes. It'll be a short live. Bollocks to you, Neil. I know shitloads of stuff about cars. I might not know about the mechanicals and stuff, but I know the important bits. That's quite nice, actually. Tesco wine. I did send everyone on my live straight over to you, Boaty. Well, that's enormously kind of you, Trace. What were you talking about on your live? I'd better carry it on then. They might be watching this and they might be expecting more of the same. So, yeah, let me know what you were talking about. I imagine it was pretty standard Women's Institute stuff, you know, recipes for making the best Victoria sponge cake. But let me know. I will gladly carry it on. Andrew says, Ross, we should call him the protractor as he goes off on so many tangents. Fantastic stream, Tracy, says Jimmy Quinn. Sorry I wasn't with you, Tracy and Emma, says Captain Mustard, but I couldn't be asked and I didn't think it was going to be much good, so I didn't bother. That's a bit rude, isn't it? Well, there you go. That's Mustard for you. God, you know, he started on Skick last night and tonight he's starting on Tracy and Emma, but they'll give as good as they get. They won't take any nonsense off the Mustard Meister. Knitting and household chores, says Andrew. Boaty, if only you knew. Barry says there is a song by the Beautiful South. Whiskey, so good they named it twice. A lyric from one of their songs. I've forgotten what the song is called. Does anyone know what that song is called? Spanked Boaty for you, Mustard, says Trace. Mustard says, Boaty, not only did my latest video suffer with low views, yeah, I did notice, and unsubscribers because of your presence, but I was demonetized too. What were you demonetized for? There was no filth in there. Okay, I said the F word a couple of times, but that doesn't get a video demonetized. I mean, I did see that it had shit views. I did see that. And I'm sorry you got unsubscribers. I got unsubscribers on my video too because you were on there. So, you know, it's as wide as it is long, isn't it? And interestingly, if you look at Sean's video of us, that did his lowest figures in living memory as well. It's, you know, the moral of this story is if you run a solo YouTube channel, don't have anybody else on it because you will lose views and you will lose subscribers, unless it's a woman with breasts, in which case you will do very well indeed. Thank you very much. Don't have another chap on there. Oh, poor old Mustard. Oh, and I should say, on a more serious note, Mustard, old dear, thank you for putting the link to my video in there. Although, no, by the sound of it, no fucker's going to click on it. And thank you for saying that for the one and only time I made a better video than you of the same thing on the same day. And I agree, mine was better. But I also agree that it's very unusual. Oh, poor old Mustard. Low views, unsubscribers, and demonetized. I don't get why it was demonetized. How the fudge do you use Twitch, asks Neil. Not tonight, darling, says Andrew. I've got a toothache. Neil, Twitch sounds like some kind of drug withdrawal problem, says Barry. Homosexual, says Barry. How very dare they? What's with the pink candles? Are they not pink? Oh, fuck, they do look a bit pink now, don't they? They're officially, they are linen because they don't do the whatever the red ones were anymore, which were my preference because in this room, I like red accents. In fact, I would always tend to go for red accents. I definitely have red accents in the bedroom, darlings, because of course, Welsh red is my lucky colour. That's why my sex pants are red. And so definitely red accents in the bedroom. And there are red candles in the bedroom and red handcuffs and all of that sort of thing. But well, there we are, you see. This is what we find, darlings. Any love is good love, says Mr. Cat. Mustard says, yeah, I tried to watch it, followed you too, but I was still having problems. Oh, and that was a message to Tracy, by the way. They didn't call it hanging out. It was indecent exposure, says Black Lines. Boaty, we have a gay bloke at work. He's great and always makes me laugh. Absolutely. There was a film called Crash about sex accidents, says Mustard. Who knows about these kind of things? Sex, asked Simone. What's that? Oh, think back, Simone. It's what we used to have in the late 1970s. When we were young and carefree. Sex accidents, says Trace. I will admit to falling off the bed a couple of times, taking the bloke with me. Oh, well, there you are. There is our first sex accident. I can't imagine that. How the hell would you fall off a bed while you were humping? Oh, well, perhaps Trace will go into some details. Sex accidents happen, says Neil. And I talk from experience. And Joe says, and this is Cars with JC, Joe says, message retracted. And he says it firmly and proudly. And then he says, evening, by the way. All very romantic with the candles. Boaty, says Mr. Care. I approve. We all know which way you swing, says Ross. It's written in the sand. And that's quite, that's quite a clever reference to my most recent film in it. The M11 says sex accidents. I once had a guy put me over his knee with such force that the momentum kept me moving. And I ended up flying straight off and pulling him down with me. Oh, well, that went wrong, didn't it? That went wrong. Although I'm a great fan of throwing a woman over your knee. Oh, yes. Skick, don't leave, says Joe. Andrew says, Boaty, when I've been visiting my mum in hospital, there's a sign on the wall that might be appropriate for you. High risk of falls. Emma, says Neil, that's not a sex accident. That's a you've been framed moment. You should have recorded it and sent it in. Sent it into you've been framed. Big bums are ace, says Mustard. Bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushing, says Mystic Hair. Hi, Skick, if you're here. I've been catching up on the Mighty Boosh, says Barry. Haven't seen it for years. And I went, am I weird for finding some of it funny? I don't know, I've never seen it. I agree, Mustard. God. Slap and ride the waves. How disrespectful. Boaty, can we trust you, says Lord Stiff Upper Lip. Are you genuine? 100% genuine. 100%. I can genuinely fake total sincerity. And that's quite a gift, I think you'll find. Very important thing in life, faking sincerity. Oh, wine burp. I do apologise. And of course, I do mean that sincerely. It's getting hot in here with this big bum appreciation, says Trace, wafting herself in a womanly fashion. The Mighty Boosh was brilliant, says Mustard. Big love to the Tesco wine. I'm a firm member of the Big Bums Appreciation Society, says Neil. Well, I mean, let's talk buttocks. Okay, feature 3. Rate your own buttocks out of 10. 1 being the least pleasant buttock and 10 being the perfect buttock. Big bums are brilliant, says Ross. There's a lot of love for the old big bums here, isn't there? Boaty, I went to a boarding school, says Jimmy Quinn. It had bars on the window. Ah, yeah, must have been a good school if it was approved, eh? I'm not on Twitch, says Simone, although I get nervous from time to time. I'm not sure Boaty is a fan of the Mighty Boosh. I've never seen it. Sorry. I feel the need, says Mr. Care. I feel the need for cheese-based nibbles. Blackline says, I regularly slap my wife's bum and shout, moon landing. Have you ever drunk Baileys from a shoe? Asked Peter P. No, in fact, I've never drunk Baileys, full stop. I say Fred the Shed, says Joe. Oh, God. It's my fault, mate, says Mustard. I'm not sure what's his fault, but I'm sure he's right. I've just had a very good harvest, says Steve. Neil says, Joe, did your balls. I did the hard graft at the fuel pump. You just turned the key. Andrew Buttygig says, I prefer ample boobage, but there's nought wrong with a curvy bot. Oh, and Mustard says Allegro Man never loses me subscribers. Yeah, that's true. Trace says, oh, and this was a hidden message. We talked about anal fissures, sloppy sausages that we didn't want, being tied up like a pretzel, and whether mustard applied to a lady's parts would enhance sexual sensations. All highbrow stuff. Mustard applied to a lady's parts. Gosh. Not something I've ever tried. I mean, I've applied some things to a lady's parts, but not mustard. Mr. Care says, I like boobs. Just saying. I love Allegro Man, says Neil. He's such a nice bloke. Jimmy Quinn says, Tracy's stream was about anal sex and bum tearing. Was it indeed? Was it indeed? Okay. Well, it's a shame I wasn't on there, wasn't it? I could have told them all about my night with the Ice Maiden. Well, I say night, evening, part of an evening. Still traumatized by that. Oh, hang on. Grrr, says Misty. I love fun bags. Just saying. Sex pants are red, fills the girls with dread, says Neil. I prefer Irish accents in the bedroom myself, says Russ. I just find Scottish birds' accents erotic. Allegro Man is ace. So Barry, within hundredths of a second, would like us to know that he finds Scottish birds' accents erotic and Allegro Man is ace. And just for the record, Allegro Man is neither a Scottish bird nor well, he's neither Scottish nor a bird, is he? Trace asked Neil, have you felt the power of the side shuffle and ram? She won't have. That is my own. I have the trademark on. I have that move trademarked. Nobody can employ that apart from me. Scottish does it for me, says Neil. The Brizzle accent always lights my candle, says Mr. Care. Oh, Trace is explaining her sex accident. Just wrapped around each other and one hard shove and you're both off the bed. Well, you need a bigger bed. Go on, Trace. Sounds like a fun ride. Boaty watching the mighty Boosh, he'd just be sitting there aghast with his mouth wide open. I have a pitmatic accent, says Black Lines, open brackets, Northumberland, close brackets. What? What? Oh, God. What? Okay, there was a load of stuff there that I either didn't understand or couldn't read out. But, God. Right, what were we talking about? Sex accidents. God. Yes, Boaty, for the record, I don't find Allegro man erotic. I do admire what he does with cars, though. Oh, Sophie is here. Hello, all. And says, hi, Boaty. Hello to you, Soph. Well, I mean, as we seem to be quite keen on talking about all aspects of sex, let's dedicate the next half an hour to talking about exactly that, shall we? 28 minutes of sexual discussion. Anything goes. It's after midnight. Go for it. You start. Or if you wish to, you can ask me. Go on. We'll have a 28 minutes sex half hour, and you can ask each other questions as well. Or you can even ask me a question, and I promise I will answer it honestly. This could be fun. "28 minutes. Can we have a drink halfway through? It's easier than talking about cars, isn't it?" says Mustard. I could talk about cars until the cows come home. Cows come home. No, that was just a little joke talking about cars. Because I don't know if you know this, but I have a series of spies, and they're very useful. Bless them. They don't charge me anything. They do it out of the goodness of their hearts. And they watch all the other videos and all the other live streams that I can't watch. And they report back to me if there's any mention of me in them that they think I ought to know about, which can be very helpful, because it's amazing what people will say about you when they're pretty sure you're not watching and you're not going to watch it on catch up. And it was reported to me that that Tracy and the M11 were somewhat concerned that they were cutting their own live stream short to come onto mine, in the fear that they could be making a dreadful mistake if all I was going to talk about was cars. So I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with them. A little bit of fun with Tracy and the M11. There's a thought. Right, here we go. Okay, first question is from Mystic Hair, and this is aimed at the M11. What is the best sex you've ever had? So, M11, that's for you. Answer in the comments. Neil has got a question for me. Has Big Man Boaty ever been pegged? No, Neil, but Boo was always trying to do it. And I mean, always trying to do it. She had a real fixation with it for some reason. Boo, I should add that Boo was incredibly adventurous when it came to the hurly-burly of the chaise longue. There was pretty much nothing that was off limits from her side. But when it came to pegging, and I didn't know what that was, she had to tell me. But I drew the line. She was always trying to put things into my bottom. And no, not for me. Not for me. Now, admittedly, I regularly put something into her bottom. And, you know, she felt that it should be a level playing field, but then it really wasn't. You know, I can drive, she can't. I'm a really good cook, she's not. You know, she allows things to go into her bottom. I don't. It's just the way life is. I was always very nervous going to bed drunk. Keep the questions coming, darlings, for everybody. Where did I get to? Barmouth, where the mountains meet the sea, Boaty, says Lord Stiff Upper Lip. Barmouth is on my list to go. I've never been there. It's definitely on my list. Sex accident, says Trace. Someone decided to see what happens when you push a peeled banana into me. Cue 3 days of passing banana. Right, never tried that. A Savoy, yes. A jumbo sausage, definitely. Health review. Captain Mustard says, my ex told me to go and fuck myself once. She forgot that I actually could. Well, there we are, you see. There we are, you see. Some say that oral sex is the best kind of sex there is. And I remember in the final days of my marriage, we had a lot of oral sex. We would go to bed in separate bedrooms and she'd shout, fuck you, and I'd shout, fuck you too. But yeah, there we are. Oh, I think I've missed a message. Where was that? Where was that? The M11 says, my ex-husband had epilepsy and had a seizure during sex once. Did it add to the experience? I mean, you know, could have been quite invigorating in a sense. I shouldn't laugh, says Trace, but apparently she did. Oh, God, Emma, says Barry. I have a friend with epilepsy. She just found out she has a benign tumour on the brain. I was shocked. Oh, dear. You can have a coffee after round 1, Black Line, says Trace. Black Line says, M11, how is he for flattening concrete? Yeah. He knew it was coming, says the M11, and was trying to finish off before he went on to the full thing and lost consciousness. Well, you have to admire that, don't you? You have to admire that. Oh, dear. Your glass needs a top-up, Boaty, says Mystic Hair. Oh, absolutely. God, I feel like I've misled the chat a bit tonight. Sorry, says Barry. Trey says, the thing about talking about cars for an hour was a joke about last night's stream. On my part, anyway. Oh, okay. Come on now, Jimmy or Andrew. Who's the spy, asks Ross. Here we are. A message held review from the M11. This will be filth. Mystic Hair. The best sex I ever had was by getting involved with a guy 250 miles away, chatting for 6 weeks about all the fantasies I've ever had, and then having him drive all the way down for ... a whole night of doing everything I ever dreamed of. I don't think anything will ever top that. So there you go, gentlemen. If you're considering having a go on the M11, then you've got a hard act to follow. No, sorry, the hard act, that was not intentional, not the hard bit anyway. Although the only thing I would quibble with in that experience is that, from the sound of it, you had to go 6 weeks without getting any. And quite frankly, I think I'd rather have had 6 weeks of doing all of that sort of thing in the leisure and comfort of my own time and pace, rather than having to go completely without for a month and a half and then trying to squeeze it all into one night. But there we are. Neil says, I reckon Boaty's new nickname should be Frodo from Lord of the Rings because, like him, he's had his ring destroyed. No. The only person that got anywhere near that was the Ice Maiden, and you all know that story. God, Emma, says Barry. Must have been an overload for him. Did he start going faster before the fit? Pegging, says Jimmy F500. I'm partial to a bit of that. I've got loads of unfulfilled fantasies, says Barry Scrotter. Well, there's a subject and a feature. Unfulfilled fantasies. And I'm going to be boring and say I haven't got any unfulfilled fantasies. I've done all of them, which is boring. So you tell us all about your unfulfilled fantasies. What have you always dreamed of doing but never had an opportunity to do? I thought pegging was putting the washing out, says Black Lines. Ed Usher is here. Ahoy, Boaty. I say I'm just in time to see the conversation turn smutty. Please excuse me. My bumhole got seriously stretched by Angela, the housekeeper, on Thursday. Well, you know, our sincere condolences. Stephen S. Paul is here from across the heading pond. Botius Gaseous Maximus. Good evening, English people. Another one. The only pegging I've done is pegging the washing out. Snickers. King size Mars bar. But a Yorkie bar is just wrong, says Mr. Kerr. I think she punctured a lung or two, says Ed. I've not been able to sit down after the poppers came out. And hello, everyone. Talking about going unconscious, says Barry. This reminds me of the puppy we had the first time they have a go. They do pass out. It's all too much for them, apparently. I can understand that. 6 weeks without getting any, says the M11. I didn't reserve myself whilst I was waiting. Oh, right. Well, that's jolly obliging of you. I love a challenge, says Ed Usher. Boaty and the M11. Barry says, Ed, I once had poppers at a Reading festival, Prodigy, where, Prodigy were playing later on. Me and my mate sat there just laughing our bollocks off at each other. Don't knock it, Boaty, says Mr. Kerr. An ex claimed she was the lord of my ring. Breathe with me, Barry, says Andrew. Black Line says, my mate asked this. If you were offered £10,000 to have sex with your mum, what would you do? And I said, it's a tricky one, but I'd probably buy a new car. Emma, fantasy is all part of it, says Barry. Jimmy says, I never spied or grasped on anybody. Them kind of people want a kick in the head, they're sad sods. Hello, Sean is here. God, Sean, this is... I achieved all my goals by 30, says Sean, then spent my 40s just being depressed and lost about what I was doing. Only more focused in the past 6 months and now into my 50s. That rings a few bells there, Sean. That does ring a few bells. And yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with that for me would be to go much earlier. And the time that I experienced that was when my athletic career was brought to a massively premature end through injury. And I was completely lost, had no idea what to do with myself. And everything that I did after that happened entirely by accident. The only consistent thing throughout all of my adult history, professional history, was that I'm incredibly competitive, incredibly ambitious, and really quite arrogant. And whatever I decided I would do, I was convinced I would find a way to be incredibly successful at it, even if that meant cutting a few corners and whatnot. And it worked right up until I tried YouTube. I can't figure that out. But on the subject of depression, it's not a subject for tonight's show, but I've talked about it a lot in the past, and I will talk about it a lot again, and how to deal with it wherever possible organically without recourse to chemical intervention, i.e. medication. But Sean, it's going brilliantly for you now. You're bringing a lot of pleasure to a lot of people, me included, and long may it continue. Boaty, do you have a washing line, asked Steve? No. Chinese madam did put up a washing line between my two huge Scots pine trees, but when she went, that went, and now sadly the trees have gone as well, and I miss them very much indeed. Bert and Ernie do strip clubs, says Mustard. Is that a video idea for us? Yeah, let's do that. Hi, Sean, says Jimmy, and hi, Sean. Oh, God, what have you turned up to, says Barry. And Sean says, now, not staying long, just fell asleep in the bath. My grandfather clock striking midnight woke me up, so I'm heading to bed once the tea is made. I love that clock, and what a bargain. I'm up to date on the video, Sean. It's a fantastic clock and definitely a bargain. Lord Stiff Upper Lip says, my friend interrupted someone from his work having sex in the churchyard. They were both men. My friend saw his bike in the hedge and decided to investigate. Oops. Simone says, I just clambered into bed myself. Ross says, my accident was after sex. I went for a wee in the dark, pissed, forgot the house layout and went starkers, head over heels all the way down the bloody stairs. Oh dear. And he follows up and says, I live in a single-story house now. Simone hasn't had any for 8 years. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And Barry says, that's not good, but I guess you get used to it after a while. And Simone says, no, you don't, Barry, and I fucking hate it. Well, feature number 37. What's the longest that you've gone without a bit? And did it bother you? Ed Usher says, Boaty, your athleticism should include, if only they did the Olympic Games for waffling, sir, you would win a gold every time. Well, that's very kind. I went 19 years without it, says Mustard, and I think what he means by that is he was 19 when he lost his virginity. Now, I was the oldest virgin in the United Kingdom. I just really made up for it since. Me and my my work colleague, partner, whatever you want to call him, we had a thing where we would try for the perfect year. We were both single, we were both rich, we were both out on the town every night, we had amazing cars, wads of money, all of that sort of nonsense. So we decided that we would both try for the perfect year, a year in which we had 365 different women within a calendar year. And neither of us managed it, but we both got very close. At what age do people stop having sex, says Lord Stiff Upper Lip? Well, I think it depends, doesn't it? I mean, that's very individual, isn't it? I guess men can lose their libido or suffer from erectile dysfunction at, well, pretty much any time, depending on their lifestyle or genes or whatever. And the same can be true of women. You know, the menopause can go either way, can't it? It can either end their libido or give it another kickstart. You know, I know people who gave up that sort of shenanigans in their 40s. And I've known people who are still very active in their 80s and 90s. Please forgive me. I do love your content, says Ed. Nothing to forgive. Nothing to forgive. Mustard says, I've never had a proper break from women. Right. Barry says, Simone, I'm not surprised. I really can't stand going without. The longest for me, says Trace, without any intimacy, was probably about 2 years, straight after I got married. And yes, you read that right. Blimey. I think I was 25 when the cherry popped, says Barry. My mate was 12, says Steve Colg. I was 21, says Simone. We start early in Scotland, says Ross. I was 14. Has anyone searched my OnlyFans page yet? Asked Mustard. We split up, says Trace. This is the husband, I imagine, because I couldn't cope with everyone commenting on how we must be in the honeymoon stage when he was just locked in a bedroom without me. My son came out with the saying reptile dysfunction the other day, says Barry. Reptile dysfunction. There we are. Right then, darlings, you've got 7 minutes left to talk about anything that you like, or to ask me any questions, or ask each other any questions. There's probably not much that I can say. You know that I'm horribly indiscreet, and I've told you all of the secret stuff already, probably many times. Boaty, says Decol, I lost my virginity to a Welsh woman in Holyhead, and ED was involved. Oh. In the care home, did you catch doing it? Oh, right. Not in the care home, no, but when I was on the ambulances, we were doing an emergency admission. Turned up at this, council elderly people's bungalow thing to take a lady in for an emergency admission. No answer at the door. The door was unlocked. Went in, and they were in the bedroom. The husband was given her one because he said he didn't know how long she was going to be in hospital. So he thought he'd better get one in before we took her. And we had to hang about while he finished off. God. Boaty, when I was a young buck, says Ed, I had an encounter with an old lady at 22. She said she would wear me like a cheap suit, and that was a messy afternoon, I can tell you. Oh dear. Healthy sex life keeps a relationship going, says Neil, and Trace would agree with that. And Blackline says, yeah, and a sandwich. Ed says, Boaty, if not Rovers, what car would it be? Bristol's, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Maserati, maybe. But I've said before, Rovers are all about the price point. When I had money, I didn't drive Rovers. And if I have money again, I probably will. Well, I will, but not exclusively. I love a Bentley. I used to love a Bentley back in the day, and I've got a very soft spot for the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow 2. Probably the car I feel most at home in. Obviously, I was brought up with Bristols, make your own jokes, so I adore those. And, you know, let's face it, Ferraris are quite cool, aren't they? I mean, people, James, JM, he talks about an F355 and how exciting it is now. I had an F355 when they were current. My 355 was 2 years old. You can't believe the doors that opened. And the legs. I'm rather fussy, unfortunately, says Simone, and that's probably why I don't get any. Neil says, I've done the same. I was 18 and went on a 2-day shagathon with a 40-year-old. She taught me a thing or three. If not Rovers, what car would it be? Escorts, says Andrew. Oh, dear. Watching YouTube constantly helps a sexless marriage, says Russ. Oh, dear. I like Bristols too, says Mystic Hair. And Neil does the obvious joke. I love a nice pair of Bristols. The larger Bristols are lovely. Oh, God, here we go. I don't miss the chase, says Black Lines. I kind of do. I don't know. We should have, it's too late now, the live stream's about to finish, but one of these nights, we should have a stream about relationships and where we are with them. You know, whether we're all happy and loved up and still excited and it's all wonderful, or whether we're single and loveless, or whether we're in a relationship that isn't ideal, but for whatever reason we don't want to leave it. All of that sort of thing. I don't think we've really gone into that. Maybe that would be an interesting thing to discuss. Yeah, maybe that could be one for tomorrow night as a sort of carry on from this. It's like the M11 and I were talking about sex the other night. Could have been last night. No, I think it was the night before. Very late at night. And I surprised myself by saying that at this point in my life, what I really crave is intimacy within the confines of some form of a relationship that has elements of some form of commitment, friendship, blah, blah, blah. And that I don't get the same desire or I don't get the same appeal from sheer sports sex with a stranger that, you know, I, like most people, have had in the past. Maybe that's an age thing. Maybe that's a thing that naturally comes with age or maturity or whatnot. Or maybe it's to do with background. Maybe because I spent so many years sowing so many wild oats, I don't feel the need to tick that box anymore. And I crave the opposite. I crave the intimacy and the joy of togetherness with somebody that you want to hump the life out of, but that you also like and enjoy their company and your friends as well as lovers or partners. Maybe if you've had the opposite, maybe if you've had an ultra long-term relationship where it was mostly platonic, then maybe even if you are, you know, knocking on a little bit, maybe you crave exactly the opposite, and you want all of the casual encounters and the madness and the whatnot. I mean, there aren't any right or wrongs, are they? There aren't really any rights or wrongs to anything in life. You just have to get through it the best way you can so that it makes sense to you. Where did I get to? Oh, I've missed a few. Hold on. Right. Oh, about here, I think. Not a bad thing at all being fussy, says Neil. Simone says, Neil, my friend Ian died of cancer at 40 as a virgin. He never found anyone, so I don't believe that phrase. Oh, probably a phrase. Oh, yeah. And the phrase was, you'll find the right one. There's someone out there for everyone. Yeah, I don't believe that either. You have to make, like anything else in life, the harder you work at something, the luckier you get with it. The M11 says, oh, are we on to cars now? The only thing I know about cars is the feel of the bonnet. Well, I mean, be adventurous. Be adventurous. Now, I got a comment on my video saying that I deserve to have unrequited love when I turned up to a date with a Ford Galaxy. And for those who don't know, a Ford Galaxy is a 7-seater people carrier. But I thought it was a perfect thing because I prepared a picnic and wine and all of that sort of thing. So you can configure the seats so that you've got a nice intimate dining area, and you give the person, lady or man or whatever the other person is, and you feed them wine and you feed them beautifully prepared food, and then you do the romantic bit on the beach, and then hey, all of those seats fold down into a very practical bed, and the back windows were tinted. So it's not all about the bonnet, is the point. By me, says Sophie, there are two people who have a Rover 45 and an MG ZR, and they're both silver. Sensible people. I like taking it from behind and taking it from behind. What about you, Sir Boaty? I don't. Yeah, when it comes to bum fun, then it's obviously ladies only. And I am definitely the Arthur and never the Martha. Ivor Spotty says, Emma, interesting. Boaty was showing Windsor Davis with a polished bonnet. I was very proud of that bonnet. I'm excited all of the time, says Barry. Neil says, I feel for you, sweetie, talking to Simone. That's a nasty thing to have happen to you, but I'm sure that there is someone who's dreaming of a girl who's into working on cars and actually enjoys it and is good at it as well. Emma, you are so naughty, says Barry. I seem to... What? I'm not sure whether... Oh, right, excited all the time. And Trey says, yeah, I seem to be, at the moment, excited all the time. I think the universe is sending me signals. You need a pet, Boaty, says Lord Stiff Upper Lip. I really don't. And that was about being excited all the time, not car bonnet, says Grace. I agree, Boaty, says Mr. Care. My shagging days with strangers are over. You get to a point where... I mean, my ideal now would be like a female best pal, a best pal that you're comfortable to go on road trips with, share things with, eat with, have a laugh with. You've got shared sense of humour, just a female best pal who's got a body to die for and has got a really open mind, so you can do all of the filthy stuff that you enjoy. And I'll put it out there, because I'm always honest with you. Once again, I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is, because I haven't seen Cindy for weeks. Because, yeah. The feeling of regret is powerful after a night out, says Black Lines. I dodged a few bullets when I was younger. I crave you, Boaty, says Smelly Hole, which is probably Jimmy Quinn. Apparently, I'm told that Jimmy Quinn has gone on record of saying that he is a number of different people on my live stream. So I imagine that Smelly Hole could be the lovely Jimmy in another guise. As I say, it's amazing what you find out when people watch other people's live streams for you. In 1970s prison, says Edosha, you had to take what was available. I've spoken about this before. Now, in the Italian mafia, and obviously I used to race for an Italian team, so I've got some insight into... That's why I speak Italian, by the way. I used to race for a team called Carrera, because the team was sponsored by Carrera jeans. They were a jean manufacturer, and based around Lake Garda. So yeah, obviously, so I picked up, you pick up Italian as you do and whatnot, but you also pick up how things are, the dynamic of that particular culture or whatever. And I know that with the mafiosa or mafiosi type, homosexuality is a complete no-no. And I think, if I remember correctly, that in Italian culture, I don't know if this has changed, because I'm talking about 30 years ago, but no Italian man would ever admit to giving a woman oral sex, because in Italian culture, if you would give a woman oral sex, you would just as easily give a man oral sex. So it kind of wasn't a thing. I'm sure they all did, but you would never admit to it. It was kind of, absolutely verboten, not allowed. And homosexuality was obviously right out of the window. You get killed for stuff like that. But apparently, if you went to prison, then you were given a pass. You're allowed to be homosexual in prison because it was understood that there was no alternative. Now, I've never been to prison, fortunately, but I would definitely not have gone there. Well, not of my own volition anyway. My favorite story about the prison thing, is Richard Pryor. In my opinion, the funniest man ever to walk this earth. And he was sent to prison for tax evasion or tax avoidance or whatever it was, not paying his taxes. Your Honor, I forgot. You'll remember next year, nigger, said the judge when he handed him down a sentence. And he was terrified of that side of things in prison. And that was... And I remember him saying that, pardon the N-word, by the way, but then, bear in mind, I'm allowed to say it. You're not. Those of you who don't know, I'm actually part black. So I'm allowed to use the N-word. And he said, I made niggers laugh all day long in prison to keep their mind off the booty. There was no way nobody was fucking me. No way, no how. And yeah, I'd have been like, if I'd have ever gone to prison, I mean, hopefully I never have, and hopefully I never will. But that would be, yeah. I mean, fortunately, if I went to prison now, then I'm too old and ugly to be of interest to anybody. But if I'd have gone to prison in my 20s or 30s, my God. Ugh. I always get, where was that? I always get more horny when there's a full moon, says Barry. My biggest problem, says Andrew, is a lack of confidence. Oh, we can talk about that. We can talk about that on other streams because people won't admit it always, but it's a very common thing. And ironically and somewhat bizarrely, I think you need to have quite a strong degree of confidence to admit that you don't have confidence. And I know that that sounds counterintuitive, but I really don't think it is. So we'll add that to the list of things to talk about in future lives. I'm happy being single, says the M11, but I do miss a bit of serious action with a firm and dominant man. Form an orderly queue, chaps. The biggest confidence boost, says Black Lions, comes with knowing that no one knows what the fuck they're doing. We're all making it up as we go along. No, some truth in that. Joe says, I guess it's different for everyone. Some people won't understand. I'm not sure what that's in relation to. I think it's probably in reference to Simone. I'm excited all the time, says Barry. Just saying. That's just me. My sex drive is through the roof and it's not my fault. There we are. Simone says, my longest relationship was 1 year and 9 months when I was 20. I'm now 48. Sorry for being depressing. I'm going to go. You don't need to go, Simone. And you're not being depressing. It's, I will reiterate. Okay, it's Saturday night. It's late now. But maybe for those who are new or those who have forgotten, the point of this community is that we are a community. We are random people. We come together and we laugh a lot. And sometimes, but sometimes we talk about more serious things, and that's absolutely fine. So if anybody within the community is having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or a bad life, it's always okay to come on here and talk about it, right? And ignore what anybody else says. They maybe not everybody knows what I had in mind for this community. And let me assure you that what I have in mind for this community is that it's a safe, respectful, friendly place and a place where we can share. And what we need to share is not always going to be sunshine and light. And if a subject comes up that you think, well, this is depressing, I don't want to see that, then that's fine. Go off, go and have a cup of tea, go and watch another YouTube channel or whatever, and come back the next night, 'cause it will all be probably very different. But I'm never going to allow anybody to feel that they have to disappear because they don't feel that they're adding fun to the party, because that's not what life's about. Life is not about constant fun. For many of us, probably most of us, life is a struggle in some way. And I think that life should be a joyful struggle. I think that there should be joy for each of us in every day that we're fortunate enough to have life. But that doesn't mean that there won't also be a struggle. Nobody's life is perfect. You could have all the money in the world, the most amazing partner in the world, whatever. There's going to be an element of struggle in probably each and every one of your days. My frame of mind, and my advice or whatever would be to accept that, but to try and make sure that there is also joy in every day. And I want this community and this time together to reflect that. So there should be joy, there should be laughter, there should be smut, there should be optimism, there should be hope, but there also has to be a place for the people that are having a bad hour or a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or a bad year or a bad life. And I'm never going to move away from that. It's important. And I can't speak for anybody else, but I can speak for me. And any of you who've been watching for a while, you will know that that life is a struggle in many ways for me, but that it is also a joy, and it's all about that balance. And in a large part, that's why I do these, because these times with you guys, they are a joy for me. So if I've had a bad day, I know that I can end it well by doing this. If I've had a great day, hopefully I can do this and help improve somebody else's day or whatever. So that's a long response to Simone. I mean, we're all going to go now. Bloody hell, I've been going on for an hour and 20 minutes again. So this is going to come to an end. Say your good night, but just bear in mind that you never need to move away because you're not feeling it. This is the place for when you're not feeling it. Honestly. There we are. Ed Usher says, Trace, I need a link to your YouTube and your OnlyFans if that's okay. I'm sure she'll supply that. I like the Billy Connolly saying, people like funny. Oh, people like funny. Fuck funny. Yeah. Oh, Joe, that's kind. Joe's talking to Simone. That's nice. People are showing Simone a bit. Everybody's showing Simone a bit of love. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good to see. Bless you. You're good people. Barry says, I think we all mellow with age, Boaty. It's good to feel comfortable with someone. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not reading that one out. Mustard says, I know Smelly Hole, and honestly, she really is mad for you, says Captain Mustard. And Barry says, I wonder who Smelly Hole is. Well, I do too now. Steakog. I've been silent, says Sherry. My microphone icon has disappeared. Just wasted an hour trying to find it. Does anyone know what to do? I have no patience for digital typing. Boaty says, Jimmy, tell me who said that. I'm not Smelly Hole. Oh, okay, fair enough. No fanukes in the Italian underworld, says Stephen S. Paul. Correct. Boaty has revealed he has a BBC, says Mystic Hair. Oh, well, that's talking about my heritage. Yeah, because I've said that I can use the N word. Strictly speaking, darlings, very strictly speaking, if you want to be exact, I always say that I'm Welsh. I'm a Welshman. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah. But technically, I am half Welsh, 1/4 English, and 1/4 Bermudan. So yeah, I do have Afro-Caribbean heritage. My grandfather was black. One of them. The other one wasn't. The other one was like Windsor Davis, and it ain't half Hotman, except more so. He was an RSM in the Paris, and he would have shut Windsor Davis up. Battery Sergeant Major, whatever his name was. Oh dear. God, it really is time to go. I need to eat some curry and go to sleep. Boaty would play the race card in prison, says Stephen S. Paul. I'd play any card if it saved my arsehole. Boaty, says Ed, have you ever taken it from behind from a woman? No, absolutely not. Despite them trying, no. No. I mean, I might not be the most macho bloke in the world, but, you know, I couldn't. I mean, for starters, I mean, that would just never appeal to me in the least. No offense to those who enjoy that sort of thing, but it would never appeal in the least. And even if it did, I could never look at myself again. I mean, okay, I'll be honest with you. Lot. I am, in many ways, I'm an old school man. And I kind of make no apologies for it. I have Welsh heritage and upbringing. In my heart of hearts, I believe that a man should be a man. So a man should be strong, and he should be strong for his family. A man should be the breadwinner. The man should go out, work, put the food on the table, and give the family absolutely everything that they need. And that should be the number one priority. So yeah, a man should be strong. He should be the protector. And when it comes to the hurly-burly of the chaise longue, then, you know, the man should be the man. And I can't, no offense, honestly, no offense, do what you want to do behind closed doors. But I can't get my head around a man bending over and being taken from behind by a woman or anybody or anything else. That's no. Absolutely not. It would never, you know, like I say, each to their own. And, you know, it's a big old world and we've all got our likes and dislikes. But I could never imagine myself in that scenario in a million years. That's in my mind, and I might be a dinosaur and I might be wrong, then, you know, that's not, oh God, no. I mean, before I became a professional athlete, I boxed and I played rugby, both quite well. And I can't imagine anybody that I did those things with bending over and being humped from behind by a woman. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm an unashamed alpha male. And I realize that's probably politically incorrect. And I try to be a nice person. I try to be a good person. I try to be a kind person. But I am an alpha male. I will always want to be a dominator. If it's business, I will want to be the head honcho. If it's a sport or a competitive environment, I want to be the strongest. I want to be the winner. And certainly when it comes to the bedroom, I'm not going to be the one bending over. I'm going to be the one bending somebody else over. Thank you very much. Have you heard of the Botswana Broadcasting Corporation? No. The only thing I know about Botswana is the amazing books written by, oh God, who was it who wrote the number one ladies detective agency? I can't remember, but I loved those books. I've read every single one of them. I loved the radio series and I loved the television series. And I would love to visit Botswana. William, I can't remember who wrote them, but amazing books. And Jill Scott was the perfect casting for Ma Ramotswe in the television version, by the way. Hang in there, Simone, says Mr. Care. We are loonies, we are one, says Stephen S. Paul. Ed has got a question for the M11. Have you ever engaged a man from behind? Well put, Boaty, says Barry. Boaty's bath time conundrum. There's a different kind of BBC. God, Boaty's describing the Catholic Church. Amen, Boaty. It's a good bunch of people in here, says Barry. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. It is. Life's short. Have fun. Buy weapons. And yeah, I guess you could laugh too, says Stephen S. Paul. I wouldn't share anything of the private or personal life on here. Sorry, says Jimmy. That's fine. Not everybody's going to be comfortable with that. There was joy, there was fun, there was smutting to be done. Good night, everyone, says Mustard. I'm off for a glass of wine, says Trace. Be well, children of the realm and elsewhere, says Stephen S. Paul. I'm already in bed, says M11, but you can't beat a bit of Boaty before sleep. You know it. Budge over, darling. Make room. Night and hugs all, says Peter P. The world needs more Fred, says Stephen S. Paul. Beware of Boaty's Bermuda Triangle. I'm up for an all-nighter, says Mr. Care. I'm bloody not. I need sleepies. I've got a busy day tomorrow. And then I've got a busy day on Monday as well. Monday's going to be fun. I'm going to get my hands dirty and do some mechanicking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm old-fashioned, really, Boaty, says Barry. Nothing wrong with an inquisitive finger, Boaty, says Mr. Care. Bruce Willis is just a name compared to Boaty, says Stephen S. Paul. Boaty doesn't like the back door, says Jimmy F500. I love a lady's back door. I'm the first to take a few laps around the Chocolate Speedway, not mine. Dominator. Oh, hello, says the M11. I am. That's my nature. That's my nature. I've, like I said, I try to be modern and all of that, but that's what I am. And I'm too old to change. You're never going to see me being bent over and pegged or whatever the word is, or spanked or, oh God, no. I'm going to be the one doling it out. I think my manliness comes out being a doer, a mender, and an earner, says Barry. I've never heard of such a thing, says Sherry. Why and how would a woman do that? I hear you, Boaty. The clue is in my chat name, says Ross, Dino Dad. Yeah, old school. Video title, get them before they get you. I'm off now for an enema. Alexander McCall Smith. Of course it was, Ben. Ben, thank you. And Ben says morning all. Boaty's Tinkle will be seeing some action tonight, says Andrew. It really won't. It really won't. I can assure you that this beautiful cottage in the middle of nowhere, up on the moors in the Peak District National Park, just me and the ghosts. My Tinkle will be getting no action whatsoever. And I'm jolly glad about it. To be honest, the only action I want at this point is finishing off the bottle of wine, eating some curry, and trying to catch up on some bloody sleep. So I've got 2 mad days ahead of me. Tickle the like button, says Pocahontas 100. How have the ghosts been lately, asked Barry. Really good, really good. Unless I bring somebody else here, then it's all cool now. We've been cool with each other for years. It was only the first year that was really mad when they were doing all of the crazy stuff. Now it's just cool, and it's nice to know that I'm living in a bit of history, and I'm living amongst other people and their history, and I don't bother them, they don't bother me. We're aware that we're both here. Obviously, they know I'm here. I know they're here, and it's all cool. It's all cool and dandy. It's a healthy relationship. Right, that's it. I've caught up with the comments. You've all started to go, quite understandably. It's gone 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much for your company tonight. Yeah, I hope this has been not too bad for you. And please, if you feel so inclined, join me tomorrow at, what day is it? Christ, it's Sunday. Okay, tomorrow, earlier time, 10 o'clock, not 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, isn't it? Yeah, 11 till midnight tomorrow. I've got a mad day. Oh, yeah, tomorrow, cars. Tomorrow really is all about cars, because on Monday for 3 days, my lane here is being closed off because it's being re-tarmacked and whatever. So I've got to move the entire fleet somewhere else, and I've got to do that tomorrow. And I've got to make a nice Sunday lunch because that's important to me. Then I've got to go to work, and then I've got to get ready for Monday. And Monday will be a yard day. Me and the lovely Captain Mustard back doing what we do best, losing each other's views and subscribers. And if all goes according to plan, there will be quite a few videos from Monday. There will be a lunch video. We haven't done one of those for, it must be a month, and I really miss them. There will be 1 or possibly 2 videos that will also be podcasts in the car on the way to get lunch and on the way to get back. And there will probably be another video, probably 1 from me and 1 from Mustard, about the mechanical work that we're actually going to be doing on one of my cars. And yep, I'm going to get my hands dirty. I'm actually going to do some proper spannering. Oh, fuck off, Trace. Yes, look at the clock. It's 1 o'clock. Stephen S. Ball says, dominate the like button, you pathetic weaklings. Thanks for the chat, Boaty, says Andrew, and everyone. Most enjoyable. Have a great week ahead. I knew you would need to move the cars when you said in your video, nightmare. Yeah, it is going to be. Is it that late, Trace? A massive thank you to the lovely Tracy and the lovely Emma for ending your live stream in anticipation of mine. That's really very kind of you. And from what I'm told, your live stream was quite the experience. I missed the lunch videos and the Hedgehog of Truth, and Trace says the same. I missed them too, so I'm going to try and make sure that we get one tomorrow. We didn't get one, to explain, we didn't get one a fortnight ago, which was the last yard day. we had a guest at the yard and we actually went out for lunch. So we couldn't film. There wasn't a lunch video, but I'm sure there will be on Monday. It's been too long. Hey, there might even be a live stream from the caravan from Mr. George Roger Boaty. You never know. Okay, right. God almighty, it's fucking hell. It's 6 minutes past 1. Christ, no wonder I'm permanently fucking knackered. Okay, darlings. Let's all bugger off, shall we? And let's get some food. Let's finish our glasses of whatever we're finishing. And let's get some sleep. And if you're up for it, I'd love to do this all over again. 11 o'clock tomorrow night, Sunday Night Live. All right. Love to all, and to you, Boaty, as always. Look forward to more viewing pleasure. Thank you, Ed. See you all, says Mr. Care. My life, says Trace, was 2 hours of mad undiagnosed ADHD brains firing all over the place with no agenda. The M11 says, sleep well all, sweet dreams, and good night, Boaty. See you later, says Paddy. All right. Let's go. Let's go. God almighty, 1 o'clock. And let's do this in real life, you lot. Come on. Let's make this the year when we hire a massive Airbnb. And I've got one in mind. I've talked to you about it before. And we meet up and we do all of this in real life, in person, over the space of a weekend or something like that, or at least a night. That would be the most fun ever. Let's make this the year. Okay, that's it. Please, all of you, have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best possible day that you can tomorrow, and just take really, really good care of yourselves. And so much love from me. And I really hope to see you all tomorrow, 11 o'clock, Sunday Night Live. I'm not reading those last few out. Good night, darlings. Much love for you. And of course, a very domineering Bosh.